Hello everybody, this is Mr. Fischel again, and this is the third video on Learning Target 4. Learning Target 4, remember, is I can identify the slope of an equation and tell whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Today we're going to focus mainly on that solving equations, figuring out what the slope is. That's mainly what today is going to be. So first of all, I'd like everybody to make sure you have out this this packet right here, because these are the problems that I'm going to be doing. So if you could see, let's zoom in. This packet right here. All right, so I'm going to do several problems for you. If you want to pause in between each of the problems, try to do them first on your own, and then listen to me. That would be awesome. So look at number 1. Y equals negative 5x minus 5. Remember, our goal is to put the equation in y equals mx plus b form, where m is the slope, b is the intercept. Okay, so here, it's already in that form. So the coefficient of x, negative 5/2 is the slope. So here the slope equals negative 5/2. Pretty easy. Okay, let's go number 3 is the next one I want to do with you. Now this one, notice that it is in the form y equals mx plus b, but there's a negative in front of the x. That just means negative 1. So this could be rewritten as y equals negative 1x plus 3. Whenever you see a negative in front of the variable, that just means negative. So the slope is negative 1. Our next one I want to do with you is number 5. Number 5 is definitely not in slope-intercept form. So we have to ask ourselves, what do we need to do? First of all, I'm going to move the x's to the other side. This is a positive 2x, so I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. Okay. And when I do that, the x's cancel out, and I'm left with negative y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Remember, I can't combine these together because these are x's and this is just a constant. Now, remember before what I had up here, negative x stood for negative 1x, right? Well, now I have a negative y. That stands for negative 1 times y equals negative 2x plus 1. Well, I have to put in the form y equals mx plus b, right? So I'm going to have to divide by that negative 1. So if I divide all these by negative 1, the negative 1's cancel out, and I'm left with y is equal to negative 2 divided by negative 1, which is 2x. Then 1 divided by negative 1 is minus 1. So now it's in the form y equals mx plus b. And you could see the slope is going to be, you guessed it, 2. Slope equals 2. All right, good. I want to skip over now to number 8. All right, number 8. First of all, I want to get the y's by themselves. So first of all, I'm going to try to get rid of this 4x. To do that, I'm going to have to subtract 4x from each side. That cancels out this. I'm left with 5y is equal to negative 4x minus 10. All right. After that, divide by 5. Okay, y is equal to negative 4 over 5x minus 10 divided by 5, which is 2. The slope in y equals mx plus b form is that right there. So slope is negative 4 over 5, negative 4/5. All right, flip the page. Let's look at number 15. 15, everything is on the same side. So I want to move everything except for the y's to the right side. So I'm going to move the 10 first. That's a negative 10 or minus 10, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 10 each side first. And I'm left with negative 2y plus 2x equals 10. Now I want to move the 2x to the other side, so I do the opposite. That was a positive 2x. I subtract 2x from each side. This cancels out. I have negative 2y is equal to, remember, I can't combine these together. They're not the same thing. So I have negative 2x plus 10. Now, to solve for y, I divide by negative 2. Negative 2's cancel out. I have y is equal to negative 2 divided by negative 2 is just 1. So that's 1x. 1x is just written as x. 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. So my equation is y equals x minus 5. Now in this case, again, x is by itself. So that means 1 is the coefficient. So the slope equals 1. All right, let's go down to number 19. 19 will be a little easier than 15 was. I'm going to move everything to the left side this time. You see, I'm just going to leave y by itself on the right side. I'm going to move it to the left side. So instead of y equals mx plus b, it'll be more like mx plus b equals y. That's a commutative property. Remember this, these are equivalent statements. Okay? So in order to do that, I need to move the 2x to this side, the negative 2x. I do the opposite. So I add 2x to each side. End up with y equals 2x minus 1. Now it looks a little funny with y being on this side, but you can still see over here the m is the slope, and over here the m is still the slope. So if I look over this equation, the slope is going to be, you guessed it, 2. The slope equals 2. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's turn the page, and now we're on the page that looks like this, writing linear equations. Go down to number 5. All right, so again, I want to get y's by themselves, so what do I have to do this 6x? You guessed it, subtract 6x from each side. So we get 5y is equal to negative 6x minus 15. Because I couldn't combine these together, right? Now to get y by itself, I have to divide by 5. Cancels out. I have y equals negative 6/5 x minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. So my slope-intercept form is negative 6 over 5. It's the coefficient of x. There we go. All right, last problem I'm going to do is this one down here. To get y's over here, I have to move this 11x, so it means I subtract 11x from each side. So I end up with negative 4x, or I'm sorry, negative 4y equals negative 11x plus 32. And I divide by negative 4. Do that all the way across. So y is equal to negative 11 over negative 4. Both the negatives turn to a positive. So it becomes 11/4 x. 32 divided by negative 4 is negative 8. So my slope-intercept form is y equals 11/4 x minus 8. And my slope is going to be 11/4. All right, now the big question is, why did we just do all these problems? Why was it important? Well, here's why. Remember, if the slopes of two equations are the same, then the lines must be what? That's right, parallel. If the slopes are opposite reciprocals, then they are, you guessed it, perpendicular. And if it's neither of these two, then it could be neither. Those are your options. Right? Now when you're doing the sheet, I want to zoom out a little bit, tell you what you need to do when you're in the middle group setting. When you're in the middle group setting, you're going to be doing this page on the back, and this page all the way until this point right here. Don't do anything below. Don't do anything on the back here. So this is what I want you to do. All right? All right, this will be great. Tomorrow we're on to a new learning target, so I want to make sure you guys really understand this, because the next quiz is over learning target 4 and learning target 5. All right, it's homecoming week. Go Big Reds.